Really hate this time of year. It's cold, miserable. I mean, it's what, 20 past 12 in the afternoon, and it's sitting at 1.5 degrees. That's just proper crap. My grass is still white. Oh, I just hate it. The only good thing about this time of year is obviously you get to sit here drinking nice hot chocolates and big baggy hoodies I've got on now, and just moan about the weather until it gets sunny again, which seems such a long time ago. Riding in nice summer weather, long days, hours and hours out on the bike. I cannot wait to do that again. To make me feel better, I have been sitting there planning my tours for next year and where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do and stuff like that. So the wife had decided she wants to go and do the NC 500 next year, which I'm not complaining. I'm something I wanted to do for a while. So most evenings we've been sitting there plotting our routes and our days and stuff like that. So that's been quite enjoyable. Something to look forward to. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like 6 months away, so that's quite depressing. But there is one thing about this time of year. It's the Motorcycle Live Show in Birmingham. Now, if you don't live in the UK and you don't know what the Motorcycle Live Show is, it's basically a big show where all the manufacturers come into one big building, show off their new flashy bikes and new flashy gear, and try and flog your stuff at sale prices. I mean, when I say sale prices, some of it's not exactly a sale price, I don't think. Although the wife has just bought a new helmet, which I am slightly jealous about. And she got a bargain on that, a proper bargain. I think she said it saved herself like 240 quid, I think it was. Because I had to look at the price of the helmet, obviously, since the show's finished, and it's gone up to full price. So, yeah, this is how much she bought. As you see, it's actually a really, really nice helmet. I mean, the colours aren't really me, but I did try the helmet on because me and the wife are the same helmet size, and it's so comfortable. So yeah, I am kind of in the market of a nice shoey helmet now. So, but obviously Motorcycle Live is a very expensive show, and this time of year that YouTube gets flooded with Motorcycle Live videos and stuff like that, especially if you live in the UK and you follow the UK bike channels. Everyone's made a video on Motorcycle Live. I did go this year. I didn't make a video on it because, as I just said, loads of people have already done this. So I decided to make a video after the show's finished on whether it's actually worth going anymore, because so many comments I've seen on people's videos, it's too expensive, the parking's too expensive, and the show itself is overpriced, and there's not really a lot going on there anymore. And yeah, I get it, I get all that, but is it really worth not going? I mean, there's not a lot else going on this time of year, is there? So I thought I'd give you my opinion on it and whether it is too expensive to go anymore and why I decided to go. So before I start giving you my opinion on the show and stuff like that, I'm just going to put a little caveat. Got a bit of a sore throat. I think I'm coming down man flu. So you're seeing this video as a man is starting to die, because obviously we all know if you get man flu, it's sort of life or death situation. So yeah, I thought I'd get a video out to you before I croak. So yes, the show. If you book tickets in advance, you do save a little bit of money. I think the parking for car park is maybe half the price. I think you get like £4 off the entrance price of the show, which, to be honest, isn't that much of a saving considering how expensive the show actually is. So, but like Tesco says, every little helps. But in regards to the parking, that is probably a lot of people's bugbear. The parking is astronomical. I mean, again, if you book it early, you get it cheaper, but if you don't book it early, you pay for it on the day, it's £18.95p. That's right. Honestly, £18.95p for parking at the NEC. That is absolutely criminal. Book it early, it cost me £10, I think it was. But even £10, that's, 10 quid to park at the place you're going to spend money in anyway. So it's, yeah, that I completely completely understand. That's an absolute rip-off. But like I say, the show itself is about £27. So if you combine the actual, the parking, 20 quid, the show, 27 quid, you're already 47 quid in and you've done nothing. But once you do go in, obviously all your manufacturers there, all your mainstream manufacturers, all you can think of, Suzuki, Yamaha, Ducati, Honda, they're all there with all their flashy bikes. And to be fair, this year's been quite a good year for new bikes. I mean, Honda are all over it. They're bringing out some awesome bikes, especially their new CB1000 GT bike. That looked really, really smart. And to be honest with you, I mean, I think it's just shy of 12 grand, and that's a lot of bike for 12 grand. When you have a good look round one, you know what? They're a bike to consider, especially if you're looking for a sports touring bike. But obviously, then you had all the Ducatis. They're all flashy. They're all new Panigale V4Rs and loads of V2s on the stand. They seem to be using that V2 engine quite a lot recently, so that's on a lot of their bikes. I mean, if you're like me, and in the summertime you go to all different dealerships throughout the year to see what's coming out and what bikes they've got. Basically, that's what the Motorcycle Live show is. It's all the dealerships, or manufacturers, should I say, coming to one place to show off their gear. So because I do it throughout the year, going to the show is kind of like the final hurrah for the season, if you like. Don't get me started about the seasons. I know there isn't seasons in some people's eyes, but in mine, there is. And this is currently not the bike season. But yeah, so for me, it's very much a sort of like the hurrah of the end of the season for the show, really. Going to see all the new flashy bikes and thinking about what I'm going to do next year. Just for caveat as well, I'm not buying a new bike next year. I've spent way too much money on bikes recently, so I'm keeping my Ducati, keeping my XR. Love them both. I think they're awesome bikes. So that GT was quite nice. So I'm going to be honest, it was actually quite a really nice bike. But no, I am keeping what I've got. I'm done. So yeah, it is actually really nice to be able to look around all the bikes, sit on the bikes, sort of touchy-feely with the bikes and stuff like that. It does get very, very busy. So if there's a specific bike you want to look at and want to sit on, obviously you might have to wait a little while. And some people do faff about quite a lot. I mean, there was one guy talking on the BMW stand. He was sitting on this particular bike that my wife wanted to look at. Talking to one of the people who works there, just chatting about the bike. And while he was chatting it, just sat on it as if he was like using it as a seat. While he just basically sat there, chatted to the saleswoman. It's like, mate, get off. Other people want to sit on the bike and have a look at it. It's not a seat. But he didn't really get the hint when you had me and other people just hovering around him like, come on, mate, off you go, off you trot. But yeah, so that is quite annoying about the show. People do seem to hover around bikes a long time. To be honest, you're quite unnecessarily as well. So yeah, and if you're not much of a people person, like I'm not really, it's not the best place when you just want to go there, sit on some bikes, have a play, and get on to the next one when people are faffing around. But then you come to lunchtime. Food is, food's expensive. It is expensive, especially when it's like the NEC's own sort of food area, if you like. There is a lot of sort of stalls there selling their own food and stuff like that, but I'll be honest with you, they were all quite expensive. So yeah, I mean, when you think about it, when it comes to money side of things, it is an expensive show. But why do I go? And I go every year, and I whinge about the price every year. I whinge about the parking every year. I whinge about the food prices every year. But I still go, and it's just that kind of, for me, it's that sort of, right, that's it. That's the end of the riding season. You're going to go down the route of the Christmas word. For me, it's like the season's over. That's sort of the cherry on top of the season. Some lovely bikes to look at. Something to look forward to next year is obviously getting to test ride these bikes and stuff like that. Would I recommend it? Would I recommend it? Would I recommend it? I think if there was a particular bike you wanted to go and look at and go and look round and get a bit more information on, as well as look at whatever else is available with that style bike all in one area, then yeah, maybe it's probably worth it. If you're like me, I mean, most of my dealerships around my area all split up really quite far away, so it probably cost me a lot of money in fuel to drive to them all and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, if there's like, for example, BMW XR you want to look at, but you want to look at the Honda GT as well, and you want to look at the Suzuki GSSFFZ, whatever it's called, they're all going to be there, so you can really compare the bikes all together. So that is a pro of going to the show. Is it worth the sort of cost to get into the show? That's up to you. And like I say, with some of the deals, I mean, don't get me wrong, there was some good deals to have. The wife's helmet, for example, that was actually a very good deal. I looked at other stuff that wasn't didn't seem that cheap, to the point that I looked at a pair of gloves and compared them online, and I could actually get them cheaper on Sports Bike Shop at the time. So they did say they would compare the price though. So beat the price, should we say, compare it. But they would obviously do the discount and make it cheaper for the show price. But yeah, you still had to look about. I'm literally just listening to myself right here, and I'm like, I don't actually know why I'm going to the show. It's it's expensive. I'm just sitting here trying to. It's like I'm trying to convince you to go to a show that's way overpriced for no reason whatsoever, just because I went. And I think that's more that I'm just trying to justify why I spent a lot of money going to the show. So, and I think all I've done is convince myself that it's an expensive show for what. But will I go again next year? Yeah, probably, because I'm an idiot. I have literally just sat here saying about how it's expensive and it's kind of pointless. But yeah, I'll go next year because it's become a bit of a habit for me. And like I say, it's to me, it's the end of the riding season, the end of the year, if you like. It sort of finishes off things quite nicely. I say my Ducati's been tucked away now. My XR's still out, but I haven't been able to ride it because weather, and they've been gritting the roads already. Last year it was still like really. I'm not gonna start with the weather. The weather is what it is. I live in the UK. It's crap. So would I recommend it? Not really. Is it something to do? Yeah. If you're going for specific bike and you want all the details and stats and figures and whatnot, and you can deal with the crowds of people looking around the bike, and you want to compare that bike to this bike to this bike to this bike, and all within an hour. Yeah, by all means go. It's just expensive. So I'll see you at Motorcycle Live 2026 then, shall we? I'm gonna go. I've convinced myself. I've just convinced myself it's not worth going, but I'll go. So yeah. See you in the next one.